Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We are here to have another serious chess discussion. There will be two of these this week. One, today, we're talking about Hikaru Nakamura and him chucking Gukesh's king into the crowd after defeating him in a bullet game at the Checkmate USA versus India event. And it has caused quite a lot of controversy. First, I'm going to give you John Bartholomew's thoughts. He's a well-known person in the chess community. Here are his thoughts on Checkmate, USA versus India. The level of chess was high for such a tense atmosphere, and it was neat to see how invested both the players and the spectators were. The heart rate monitors really said it all. I like that the organizers encouraged the players to show emotion and play to the crowd, giving license to players to demonstrate their personalities and cultivate a fun atmosphere, but not forcing them to do so. We know chess players can be quite reserved. And this should be what a chess exhibition is all about. Production quality was solid for the first edition. Some snaffus and awkward moments, but there are a ton of moving parts and people to coordinate in a one-off event like this, and he thought everyone coped very well. The presenters did an excellent job. The main commentary team of Hess, Raj and Dash had a fantastic dynamic, and he hopes they use them again for the next event, which should be held in India. The competitive format was the biggest miss to him, particularly the USA having white on all boards. I get that they're planning on a rematch where colors are switched, but this could have been easily improved upon to produce a truly balanced match. The event was extremely watchable for both casual viewers and hardcore chess players. Even his mom, who has very little interest in chess, had fun following some of it. She kept commenting on why the referee needed to hover near the board, looking all serious. Overall great event. I'd give it 8 out of 10 for the first go round. I'm in the camp that believes chess isn't destined to ever go truly mainstream, but these events are a lot of fun and undeniably push the game forward. I respect the hell out of the players, organizers, producers, spectators who made it happen. Oh, and congrats to Team USA on the sweep. Looking forward to the rematch. Why would I start with John Bartholomew? I think that is the most balanced take that I've seen, and I've seen it. It is quite an agreed upon take, I think. Without directly talking to the players involved and getting their thoughts and stuff, I think it is a very balanced take. That's why I start with it. Let's be clear on this before we dive very deep in and talk about all the pros and the cons. The players were encouraged by the organizers to play for the crowd. There's a clip that you can find. It's not being shared as much as what Hikaru throwing the king into the crowd is. Levi Rosman, Gotham Chess, before he sacrifices the rook, he's playing to the crowd. He's getting them up because he knows what he's about to do. Yes, they were playing chess. Yes, the format could have been more competitive. Yes, the format can be different. It was chess in front of thousands of spectators in a stadium in a one-on-one setting. It was not the candidates. It was not the World Championship. Let's make those points clear. Now, I saw a very interesting take. I regretfully can't remember who said it. I feel very, very bad. I'm looking in my bookmarks now. I can't find it. Yeah. I have found this one from Kevin Goh Wei Ming. I don't know what his relation to the chess world is, so I'll hold my hands up. If the future of chess is one where it's acceptable behavior to toss opponents' pieces into the crowd, I'm not sure I want anything to do with it. And that kind of is what all the controversy around Hikaru is. Now, Hikaru has influenced the chess world in a way in which few thought was possible, right? Him and Levy and several others, like we can talk about the Botez sisters and Jules Gambit and so many other creators, went into the online space in 2020 and they influenced the chess world hugely. Hikaru is the biggest one because he's also a top 2, top 3, top 5 grandmaster in the world. That is the difference. None of the other 4 or 5 really have the impact in terms of online and streaming and stuff that Hikaru does have. Whether you still think he's a top 5 player in the world is debatable. They were encouraged by the organizers to behave like this. I understand to some degree why people are upset about it because, and this is a quote, and I can see where the person's coming from, and even me who have given chess lessons, I teach at a local school, they say, look, I teach young kids. If a kid sees that, they're gonna do it. I don't know why kids are playing in front of an arena of 2,000 people, but I can understand that you don't want this type of behavior to move into more serious chess. You don't want kids doing it in random events. You don't want people doing it when they've got main character syndrome and there's like 10 people in the audience at some of these closed events and you're taking the opponent's king and throwing it up in the air and all that good stuff. Absolutely. Context is key. Context is absolutely key. I think here it is acceptable. I think Gukesh handled himself very well. He's had 2 now events where his opponent has huge display of emotion and he's just kept his cool and his calm. We had this one with Hikaru throwing the king, and of course the widely circulated one from earlier in the year in Norway chess where he beats Magnus. Magnus was completely winning and threw away the game, threw away the position, and Gukesh won. And Magnus hits the board and comes back, shakes Gukesh's hand, taps him on the back, and just storms out the venue. So those are 2 events that have had the world champion on the other end, and he has conducted himself very well. So whatever it means, congratulations to Gukesh. He handles himself very, very well, considering the fact he's 18. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That is also one of the other things one of the other points they brought up where it's like, isn't this a bit bullying? Like, Hikaru's almost twice Gukesh's age, and he's picked up his king and thrown it into the crowd. Look, a little bit disrespectful, but playing to the crowd, it was a USA crowd. They were hugely effective. It was 5-0. It was a close game. Hikaru said he was always going to do it at the end of the game. I'm on the side of letting it pass. I understand if you don't. And you're against it, but be against it in the right way. There's no need for a personal attack on Hikaru. Remember, he would not have done this if the organizers had not encouraged them to play to the crowd. Let's make that perfectly clear. Maybe he would have. I don't think he would have. I'm going to put that out there. Maybe Hikaru will go on your stream and say, I was going to do it regardless, whether they asked us to do it for the crowd or not. It was a unique event. Talking more about the event itself, the format, as John Bartholomew said, and a few other people have echoed, could do with some updates. I understand why the USA had white on all boards. I think for a more balanced match, they could have still had the majority white games, but you could have had 3-2. 3 white and 2 black. They could have had white on boards 1-3-5 and black on boards 2 and 4. So they still get the advantage of having more white games, but there's something for India to play for. But we'll see now what happens when the colors reverse and they have another event. The problem with that is, are you going to get the same players? Because depending when it gets organized, I don't know if it gets organized this year. It's a one-day event, so it's possible. It's not a huge week-long thing, but the players have to travel. You have to organize a big venue because you want it in the same scale as this. I think bringing it down is a bit less, and I think there are huge numbers of Indian fans, and they would love to see this. So I definitely think you need an equally sized venue, the same stature, maybe fix a few of the production things, but that'll come. The commentary team, I echo the same points. They were great. Look, in terms of playing to the crowd, it was only really Levy and Hikaru. Some of the other players did it a little bit, but maybe you could get somebody else. No one's coming off to the top of my mind. That's from chess players are really reserved. So it must have been a very unique experience for some of those players to be in that venue with a raucous crowd, to try and play up to them a little bit. It's not the traditional chess manner. So I also understand people's point of view if they say, I don't like it for that reason. I completely understand it. I don't think this is the future of chess, but I would love to see more events like this. I would love to see. Because I saw it and I was like, I see a vision. It's a terrible idea, but I see a vision. You could enter several teams, national teams, the USA, India, Norway, can't really have a Russian team. Absolutely not. But a couple of other teams. An English team, etc., etc. Uzbek team will be good. Chinese team. You could absolutely have a tournament of this with these teams playing, but like for national pride. And I think that's the key thing, because there are team events, but for me, I haven't watched many of them. Unfortunately, there is the Tech Mahindra Global Chess League that's coming, and it is a team format, and it's a very interesting format, and I'm going to hopefully watch a bit more of it than I have in the past. It was actually on TV here in South Africa, which is cool. So we shall see. I think events like this could happen more and more, and I'm here for it. We got to be okay with this. That is the bottom line. We're going to have to be okay with this, because some players absolutely play to the crowd. And things like this might happen. They might make a rule and say don't throw pieces into the crowd. Nana Hikaru gets sued because he hit somebody in the head and the king impaled them or whatever. I don't think Hikaru deserves the flack. I think the context is being blown out of proportion and it's not being fully understood. Some people have missed that they were encouraged to do this. So, my 2 cents worth, don't attack Hikaru. The event was solid. If you don't like that particular incident, absolutely understandable. If you don't like the event and the format, it's not going to be in mainstream chess, I don't think. Because you can't. Anti-cheat measures, you can't have classical chess like this. But these events are cool. They're fun. I think the audience had a great time. I think the players had a great time. I'm looking forward to the return leg in India. Otherwise, you will hear from me again soon. Cheers.